James, and I'm here with another viewer requested video series. So lately what's been going on is I've been getting a few requests to do some more Kipper related content. So I thought I would kick off a video series aimed at that. Specifically, some of those requests were about a particular layout called the cross spread. So I had to find some source material for this particular layout. I'm a big believer in that when I get it more than once, and in this particular case I got it at least 2 times, that I would go ahead and actually find material about this cross spread. So what you're going to be seeing is, in this video I'm going to be sharing an actual resource that has a cross spread in it, as well as demonstrating a particular scenario using that particular cross spread. So the deck that's going to be assisting me for this video is my favorite, one of my favorite, I only have 2, so it's one of my favorite Kipper card decks. So I'm going to be using the Fin de Siècle Kipper cards. They are by Ciro Marchetti, and the deck that I have is when the deck was first released, so it's my own personal monogrammed copy, so you will be seeing my name monogrammed on the backs of the cards. So now that I've talked about the spread, the cross spread, I've talked about the deck that's going to be assisting me, let's get to the table and take a closer look at the book that I got the spread from, as well as the cross spread demonstration. And here we are with the source material for the cross spread that I'm going to be doing in this video. I wanted to give credit where credit is due. I actually found this cross spread in this book. It is The Art of Kipper Reading, a guide to decode the Kipper cards, and it is by Alexandre. He is a divination expert. He specializes in angel cards, Lenormand, and Kipper. And so I will post a link to his website in the description box below so you can learn more about him. I also believe he has a channel on YouTube, so I will also post that in the description box below as well. So again, the cross spread is found in The Art of Kipper Reading, a guide to decode the Kipper cards. So I'm going to go ahead and put the book to one side, and now I'm going to just take the deck and I'm going to lay out the cards so you can see what the cross spread consists of. So, as I may have mentioned in the intro, I'm going to be working with my copy of the Fin de Siècle Kipper cards. This is my own personal monogram copy when the deck was first released. It is now a mass market version through US Game Systems Incorporated. So here I am with my deck in hand, and so when you're doing the cross spread, it consists of 5 cards. So the first card goes into the middle, and it represents the present situation, what's going on at the present moment in time in relation to the question. When I work with Kipper, I always am mindful of using a question or working with a question, so I always stick to the context of the question. Then card number 2 goes above the first card, like so. And here in this position, card 2 represents something that you are aspiring to. It could be a goal that you like to achieve, or it can represent something that is on your mind, right, in relation to the situation. Then card 3 goes below the first card, and for me, I read card 3 as the root or the foundation of the situation. This could also be something that you have achieved already in terms of the situation. So I'll go ahead and move these cards up just a little bit, because I think the third card is cut off at the bottom. There we go. That's a perfectionist in me. Then we have card 4. Card 4 goes to the left of card 1, and it can represent the past. It could represent what you also need to consider letting go or releasing in regards to the question that you're asking, right? And then card 5, the final card, goes to the right of card 1. And if we consider card 4 to be the past, then card 5 is going to be the future. If we consider card 4 to be what it is you may need to release and let go of, then card 5 is going to be as a result of letting go or releasing what you are creating space to come in, right? And then I tend to read this as also too a possible outcome, right? So again, we have Card 1 represents the present. Card 2, what's on your mind or what it is that you want to achieve. Card 3, in relation to that, is the root of the foundation, or what has already been achieved. Card 4 is what we might need to release and let go of, or something having to do with the past, and how the past plays into the present, right? If we go past and present, then these two cards are closely connected because one informs the other. And then card 5 is the future, and again, that depends on what's going on in the present moment because the present always informs the future, right? So there's that. And also to what we are creating space to come in, and possibly how the situation could wind up, or the outcome. So on that note, that is how I would lay out the cards. That's what the cards mean to me. Now, some of those come from the book, and then some of those are just additions of mine based on my own personal experience as a card reader. So now what we'll do is we'll shift gears and we'll actually demonstrate this. We'll put this into action using an actual experience. And here we are with the deck on the table. So I'm going to take the deck in hand. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few moments to shuffle the cards. And as I shuffle the cards, I'm going to think of a scenario that we can use to put the crossbred into action. So if you're no stranger to my demonstration videos, you know that I like to shuffle the cards and think of a scenario off the top of my head as I'm shuffling. So as I'm shuffling the cards, what's coming to me in the moment is that, let's say we're doing this reading for a woman, and let's call her Marie. And so Marie is asking about her relationship to Leo. Leo is a man that she has been dating for some time, and she just wants to know where their relationship is headed. She feels like they're in a good space now, and she's happy in the relationship, but she just wants to know what could be coming up in the future. So now what I like to do is, once I think about the question and I feel like I shuffled the question into the cards, then I cut the deck. And because this question is not about me, when I cut the deck, I cut the deck away from me. And then I'm going to put it back to one pile. And then at this point, there are a couple of ways we could go about this. I could pull the top 5 cards from the deck and read them that way. But when I work with cards, if you're no stranger to my Oracle Outlook videos, you know that I love fanning the cards out. So I'm going to go ahead and fan the cards out. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go through the fan, and I'm going to pick 5 cards for the reading. So I'm just looking for 5 cards that get my attention. It's card 3, card 4, and it looks like this will be card 5. So these are the 5 cards, so I'm going to take the remainder of the deck up, and we'll put that to one side. So I have the 5 cards here, so we have 5 on top, 4, 3, 2, 1. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and put them to one side, and now I'll lay them out in their formation. Now remember, card 1 goes in the middle. It represents the present situation. Then card 2 goes above the first card. That represents what's on the seeker's mind. In this case, this will be what's on Marie's mind. And this could also be, too, in relation to the question. If card 1 represents what's presently going on, then this could be what she aspires to, or a goal that she has in relation to the situation, which is the relationship. Then card 3 is something that has already been achieved or accomplished, or something that's at the root of the foundation. If we go like, this is what's on her mind, this may be what she's aware of, this may be something that she may not be aware of. Right? And then card 4 represents the past. So this could be some prior influence that's affecting the present moment, you know, because I'm a big believer in that the past informs the present. So this could be something has happened, and that is why we're in the space that we're in the present moment regarding the question. And then card 5, last card, is what could be coming up or a possible outcome to the situation. Also, too, if card 4 represents possibility of something that needs to be let go or released, then card 5 can also be to like something that's coming in as a result of letting go and releasing, right? So now let's take a look at the middle card. So for the center, the present situation, we have, oh, this is lovely. Look at this. We have the main female. This is Marie. This puts her right smack dab in the middle. So it says too, like the question is really focusing on her, right? Because she's in the center. And I read the card just as I would a line of 5. The card that's in the middle represents the central issue or the focus. So the cards are wanting to focus on Marie, right? And I'm a big believer in this. When a person comes to me and they ask a question that concerns another person, you know, I always put the burden, or I read it with the slant, like the cards are putting the burden onto the person asking the question. Because let's say, since Marie is the one asking the question, she's the one who's having the reading done, Leo's not here. So the cards in this context are going to put the burden on her in terms of what she may want to work on, or what she may want to improve in the relationship, but the cards are pointing to it on her side, right? But it's very interesting. I love how this happens, you know. As long as I've been reading cards and this kind of stuff happens, you just can't make this up. So Kipper is putting Marie in the focus, right? So now let's look at what's above Marie, because now this will literally be what's on Marie's mind, because this card is above her. Okay, so in Kipper cartomancy, this is distant horizons. If you're a traditionalist, this is also known as hope big water, right? So this card could suggest that there is a hope or a wish that Marie has about the relationship, because that's my interpretation of distant horizons. Now it could also be too, I tend to look at this card as a more spiritual card, so there could be some sort of spiritual aspect that Marie has in relation to her situation with Leo, right? So in that regard, she could be looking at Leo, her relation with Leo, as like he's her soulmate, you know, there's something of a karmic nature to it, you know, that kind of thing. But I'm going to go more with the idea like there's a hope, there's a big hope that she has about the relationship. It could also be too, like there may be some sort of wish fulfillment, because I tend to look at this as wish fulfillment. So there may be a wish that's going to be granted or something that's going to be fulfilled about her relationship with Leo. So that for me is distance horizons. So now let's look at the card that's below her, because this is what she's standing on. Ah, okay. So I love this. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to what I said about the idea like she's looking at her relationship with Leo as, you know, a soulmate or maybe even a karmic relationship, because here at the root of the foundation, or what she has already achieved, is courtship. Now courtship is kind of like a dating card. This card in the context can be like when they met, they were going out. So maybe at some point now, you know, they've been going out for a while, because remember now the situation in my head as I was shuffling the card says they've been dating for a while. So this could be a relation, you know, in relation to when they first met, you know, when they first started going out, when they were dating, that kind of thing. So now her big hope or wish could be like maybe wanting to see some progression with that, like where do we go from here, because in the image on distant horizons we have a ship. So now this is not a traditional Kipper thing what I'm about to do, but I'm going with the imagery here. And so a ship in the sky, ship for me typically can represent progression, advancement, moving forward, right? And so since it's in the air, it can represent the mental atmosphere. So this again, it's about something that's on her mind, what she's thinking about. She's giving it a lot of thought, but she's creating thought energy around where are they going beyond this dating stage, right? So I'm looking at the other aspect of the card. There's an anchor on the card, so it could be saying too she may be wanting something a little bit more stable, you know, a little bit more secure, you know, something that's a little more fixed or permanent. You know, those are all aspects of anchor, and I'm riffing off that, what anchor means to me from a Lenormand aspect, right? So I'm seeing all that. So she may be hoping or wishing for something a little more stable, a little more secure, a little more fixed, a little more permanent, you know, beyond just the dating thing, right? So I'm seeing that. But it could also be, too, the reason why she's doing that, because in part, she's looking at this relationship from a more of a spiritual nature. And so again, that would be possibly the idea of a soulmate, you know, twin flame, you know, something of a karmic nature, you know, those kinds of things, right? So it's very interesting. I love these cards, right? So she's just saying, like, where, you know, where are we going here beyond the dating thing, right? And it could be like going with the words distant horizon. So this could be something, you know, down the line, you know, something on the horizon, right? So now this could be something having to do with the past. And it would be interesting, too, because since courtship could represent when they first met and when they first started dating, this would be an interesting card to see. Okay, so here we have message. So for me, the message card could just be forms of communication. Here we have on the card, we have a letter. So it could be written forms of communication, but we also have a telephone, and telephone represents verbal communication. So there could be some sort of a message or some sort of communication between the two of them, you know, that is prompting Marie to question where this relationship is going. So it could either be, you know, and in this day and age, you know, going with the phone and the envelope with the letter in it as a dual thing. It could have been she receives a text message, you know, could have been a phone call, could have been an actual face-to-face conversation, something of that nature. But she got some message about their relationship that's prompting her to ask the question now, right? It could also be, too, like she may need to let go of some aspect of communication. Like it's making me feel like maybe she put a message out, because with main female not facing message card, it could represent a message she put out there. So she may have put a message out there and she's waiting for a response, you know, and maybe the message was too subtle. Maybe he didn't get the hint, you know, that kind of thing. But with these two cards back to back, it represents on some level, she put a message out there. She sent a message, and maybe he didn't pick up on what that message was. So I'm seeing that in terms of message. It could also be, too, just in terms of maybe something they need to work on. They may need to work on their ability to communicate with one another. But since she's here, the Kipper may be putting the burden on her, and maybe there's something about her communication style that she needs to take into account. Now, this card in traditional Kipper is known as pleasant letter. So this is also, because I'm seeing that now, so this could also be good news. So it could just be saying, too, like maybe she's at a place where she's asking the question, she may have some sort of concern, but this card here is saying there's nothing really to concern yourself about because everything is good. So that may be the message that the Kipper wants to give to Marie, is like, you know, you're in a good place right now, right? But now we haven't looked at the final card, so everything looks good, but so now let's see what the final card is. And so on the other side we have, oh, this is lovely. So here we have the gift card, right? So the gift card can represent an actual gift, right? So for Marie, the message could be like her relationship with Leo is really a gift. And if we pair distant horizons and gift card, it could be like a spiritual gift, you know? So there's that. The gift card here in this particular contest can represent, you know, something of a surprise nature. So it could be like, you know, Marie may be receiving a surprise of some sort, or that Leo could actually be giving her a gift. I'm tending to look at the more metaphorical aspect of she needs to look at, you know, what's great about the relationship, you know, what she's been giving, what she's been receiving, in terms of the relationship, that kind of thing, because I tend to look at gift as something pleasant, something wonderful, something beautiful, right? So there's that with that. So these cards are great. So I would tell Marie that she really shouldn't have anything that she needs to concern herself about. You know, the idea here with gift gift could come in all sorts of ways. I'm thinking, again, she needs to be, mindful of what she's received in terms of being in this relationship, because it tends to me look like with these cards that the relationship is really good, and it could be saying too, like, she may be receiving an additional gift in the future, right? And so we can go and make all kinds of assumptions there, but I will end the reading on that note. So this is the demonstration of the cross spread. I'm Jameson Mitchell, and as I close, I want to thank you for sharing the space here with me for this demonstration, and I look forward to sharing the same space with you again in a future demonstration of this type of reading, because I've had more than one request for this particular layout, so I will use a different scenario in a future video. So until then, I'm hoping that you have a wonderful day and take care.